Hey, what's up guys? Design Gypsy here. Today I'm going to walk you through the basics of Midjourney in 2025. So here's the deal. Midjourney has finally broken up with Discord. I mean, not entirely, but for the longest time, if you wanted to create in Midjourney, you need to be in the channel, lost in the sea of prompts, trying to figure out what you generated. Well, not anymore. Now you can just sign in using your Google account, bless, and start generating directly on the Midjourney website. Cleaner, simpler, way less chaotic. And for the beginner's guide, we are going to do everything right here on the website, not on the Discord. Hope that's cool with you, so let's jump in. Once you log in, you land on the Explore page. This is basically like the Instagram of AI art. You will see creations from all around the community, public generations, trending prompts, and a whole lot of wait, AI made that? But our focus right up on the top, the prompt box. Yes, no /imagine. That's where the magic begins. Now there are a million ways to write a good Midjourney prompt. And guess what? There is no one correct way. But let me give you a framework that I swear by. Start small and then layer up. Let's go with something simple. I want to see a ginger cat. Hit enter. Now check the left sidebar. You will see a little one pop up under create. That's your gallery for this run. Click it and you will see your image grid built in real time. Boom. Midjourney generates 4 images, just like that. You can even click on the image to enlarge or scroll through the creations. But honestly, these are ginger cats and are kind of boring. Cute, but boring. So let's spice it up. A ginger cat dressed like a school teacher. Boom. Now we are cooking. Did you notice I didn't say khaki pants or spectacles? I just gave the vibe. Midjourney fills the rest. Want more? So instead of rewriting everything, scroll to the right. We can rerun the prompt. But that's not what we want. Just click Use. That reloads the prompt box with the original prompt. Now we evolve. Let's give it a setting or a background. The ginger cat is standing in a classroom. This is called a callback. When we repeat ginger cat to keep it unambiguous. Remember, longer the prompt, the more likely Midjourney is to get confused. Be specific. Don't just say he or it. Always use proper names when you are referring to different subjects in a prompt. So now we have 4 new options of a classroom cat teacher. Love it? But now you'll notice something else, that not all of them are going to match your vision. And that's when you realize why Midjourney always ends up giving you 4 options. Because it's not always sure what you're exactly looking for. Let's go further. The ginger cat is holding a book. I know too much of ginger cat here, but trust me, it helps. I'm using callbacks to our opening statement. That's cool, right? Now we are getting somewhere. But there's still a little more that we can add. Let's try an illustration style. An anime style illustration at the beginning of the prompt. Now it's looking like a scene straight out of Studio Ghibli. It gave me all female versions of cat teachers, but I'm happy with it. It still feels empty. I will reuse the prompt and add students in the classroom as the background looks empty. So let's add teaching students in the classroom at the end, and boom, the scene is filled with characters added, composition way more dynamic, and we also got a male version of the teacher. Now you want a whole new aesthetic, just change the style. Anime style to vintage postcard. Now look at the result. A lot of difference. Rustic, detailed, ad-ready illustrations. Next is subject versus setting. Now here's a tiny trick that makes a lot of difference. Let's try this prompt. A fairy roaming in an enchanted meadow. In most images, the fairy is front and center. Now flip it. By default, all generations are in a square frame, but you can go widescreen. So while using this prompt, let me show you how you can change the frame size of your generation. Click at the little gear icon, settings, and choose 16:9 or any aspect ratio you want. Perfect for wallpapers, posters, cinematic shot, and yeah, it really makes that difference. Subject versus setting trick even more noticeable. Now let's try an enchanted meadow. A fairy is roaming. Suddenly the meadow becomes the focus and the fairy blends into the scene. Order matters. What you mentioned first matters. Midjourney emphasizes what you mention first the most. You want the subject to pop? Put it first. You want a beautiful backdrop? Lead with that. Now let's talk parameters. Think of them as seasonings. Add a little salt, maybe some pepper or chili flakes. If you're feeling spicy, let's go over the most useful ones. Stylize. This one is all about beauty versus accuracy. Triggered by the alphabet S, S stands for stylized value, followed by the value in number. Also use dash dash to address all parameters in Midjourney. So if you want to put stylize as a value, you add dash dash S. Please note that dash dash S0 is ugly but accurate, and dash dash S1000 is beautiful but totally interpretive. Default is dash dash S100. Let's test with a prompt, a hand-drawn fashion illustration of a model wearing resort wear near a red phone booth. Now you will notice that the Midjourney will take default stylized value 100. Quite desirable generations. However, if we lower the stylized value to 50, it is added by dash dash S. This is a generation very similar to the default, but with less finesse. But look what happens if we lower it all the way to 0. You will notice how these generations are kind of not pretty and rough. That's because we asked it to follow our prompt exactly. A hand-drawn fashion illustration. Conversely, look at what happens if we raise the stylized value here. It is 500 and in the next one to 900. You will notice that higher we go, the results become more beautiful, but it starts neglecting the details in the prompts. Like at 900, the results are close to editorial, but there isn't a clear resort wear or a red booth in the picture. So you have to balance the stylized value based on what matters more to you, the look or the specifics. You can tweak it in the settings by adding it manually to the prompt. The next big parameter that we are going to discuss is called chaos. Want to shake things up? Enter chaos mode, because it determines how much variety you're going to get within your generations in the grid of 4 images from your prompt. You can find it in your settings as well as under variety. Default chaos value of Midjourney is 0. The Midjourney team knows that chaos value is a little too powerful. Higher values, more visual variety within your 4 images. Try this prompt, a futuristic female cyborg in armor. So let's start with the prompt with the default value of 0. Now at the default, the results are quite similar. We can variate the prompt by adding dash dash C3 and also increase it in the next prompt to dash dash C6 to get different results. Now you will see the more visual variety in the generation in both values of 3 and 6. Now you can increase the chaos value. We'll try one generation with chaos 20 and one with chaos 40. Now you will see that at 20, the generations are staying away from the prompt. The generations are not that great. Also at 40, you'll notice that they are no way futuristic or in some cases not even cyborg. Here you notice more the chaos value, more unpredictable results. But too much, you lose relevance. There is no rule to it. You can play around, get what you desire by activating variety. However, I recommend not going above chaos value 6 unless you're just experimenting. By default, Midjourney adds its own sauce to everything, like a chef drizzles truffle oil on the fries. But if you want realism, you can switch to Style Raw from default standard mode. You can activate Style Raw mode by adding -- Style Raw at the end of your prompt, or go to the settings slider and change it to Style Raw instead of standard. Let's try a prompt. A peacock in the wild with -- Style Raw. The images we get here are more realistic, like an actual photo captures. So if you want a realistic look, you activate Style Raw. Now when the same prompt is given in a standard mode, the images are more stylized and more artistic. You can also make realistic images more beautiful by increasing the stylized value along with Style Raw. Combine it with Style Raw and add -- 200. Here the peacocks are natural yet beautiful. You get best of both worlds, realistic and pretty. The last parameter you should know about as a beginner is seed. Want repeatability? Use a seed. Midjourney randomly assigns seed to each prompt. There are over 4 billion seeds, but you can lock it in. Use -- seed in your prompt and pick a number for the bottom. Now if you and I use the same prompt and seed, we will get nearly identical images. Let's go back to our prompt of a female cyborg and add a seed number. I'm also going to add a variable in curly brackets, glass before the armor. The curly bracket is how we use a feature called permutation. And permutations allow you to run more than one prompt at once. This can save a lot of time. A word close curly bracket tells the bot to run this prompt with or without that word. So here there are 2 prompts run simultaneously for me. Here the results don't have much variation because glass is used in both. But still the seed number maintained uniformity in the results. Next I wanted to add color variables, and this time more than one. So I used curly bracket, black and white before the armor and added a seed number. Now it ran 3 prompts simultaneously, one with no color preference, one with black and one with white. Still there is massive uniformity because of the seed number. So I feel seed number is super handy for side-by-side comparisons. Great for batch work. Alright, that was a lot. But the bottom line is start small, build up the detail, use callbacks, reuse prompts, tweak parameters, know when to control the chaos, and never underestimate the power of changing the word order. I also wish to cover variations, upscale, and in painting, but that's for next time, I guess. Midjourney 2025 is powerful, flexible, and finally user-friendly. You don't need to be a prompt scientist to get great results. Just start by creating, keep refining, and let imagination take the wheel. This is AI art that works with you, not against you. So go ahead, make your ginger cat, and maybe toss him in the Noir thriller scene next time. Catch you up in the next video. Until then, keep creating.